It's been less than 2 days since it became clear that while a full-on war between Ukraine and Russia, we're not currently there yet, things are certainly developing in a not necessarily awesome direction. So Vladimir Putin earlier this week announced that he was going to be recognizing the independence of a couple of separatist-controlled areas of eastern Ukraine. In response, the Biden administration has outlined a whole bunch of new sanctions and all of that. Well, now there's the reaction to the reaction. So. And to comment, we have reactions on. So Vladimir Putin has announced that because of those new sanctions, he warned that Americans will fully feel the quote consequences, which I'm gonna say best case scenario is an allusion to increased fuel prices. I'm assuming it can mean other things potentially too, but that's basically the best one from our point of view. And in addition to some of the rhetoric coming out of Russia, we also have the Ukrainian response to what's going on, with their government moving to introduce a 30-day state of emergency, which calls up military reservists between the age of 18 and 60 and allows ordinary civilians to carry firearms. So under this state of emergency, they've finally reached regular Texas state of affairs. And there's more, and we'll get to it. But Ravana, this is the first that you and I are talking about this situation. What do you make of the developments that have been going on throughout the week?
Yeah, well, first, 18 through 60 was a little bit shocking to me. That seems
Broad.
like a pretty wide range.
Broad.
What some of those people's function would be if there is an all-out war at their advanced age. But I think that it's been hard to parse out the news that's coming out about it from what is just war drum beating and what is just apologia for Russia. And honestly, I've been trying to disassociate a little bit and focus on law school because I've just been struggling to find, good news sources outside of TYT, of course. But I just feel for the people in Ukraine mostly. It's a really difficult situation. It's sad, especially now. 18 through 60-year-old reservists. That's mobilization. It feels like it's got to be a scary moment for them. And I think a lot of people discuss this issue and sort of ignore the human aspect of it and the potential human cost of it. And I think that's just not a good way to look at it. It is a very sad situation for them. And I think that it's a better lens to view it through.
Yeah, no, I certainly agree. And look, especially those of us in this sort of field, we're obligated to try to understand, push through all of the apologia and the propaganda and all of that to try to understand why the things that are happening, to try to predict what will happen. I, in this case, predicted wrong. I didn't think they'd actually move into Ukraine. But anyway, and look, all of the potential explanations are in a variety of ways horrible and really have nothing to do with regular people's lives ever, moving in the direction of being better. But you are right. This is going to be devastating for them. However, just briefly, let's touch on this. So there's so, like you said, that you're sort of backing off a little bit. You're focusing on law school. I'm probably going to purchase Elden Ring and just totally check out for like a solid 3 weeks.
As you should.
The reason is I probably will because here, I'm a human. I'm gonna be Twitter for a second. So right there, Ravana said, you feel bad for the people of Ukraine. Why do you feel bad for the people of Ukraine? Are you implying that this isn't what they want? Are you saying that Russia's wrong to want, they're Ukrainians now, huh? Okay, CIA identifying them as Ukrainians. They haven't been Ukrainian since before 2014. And honestly, there's a great Middle Ages argument to be made. That's the sort of BS that you have to wade through. I saw a tweet from the Gravel Institute that was like, it's horrible that this war looks like it's gonna happen. And people, like tons of people, were attacking them for being warmongers.
Yes.
It was literally, let's not have a war, warmonger. And like, honestly, if I just say, hey, I think it would be great if one major nuclear armed power wasn't invading another country, you will be attacked as a warmonger. All I want is no war. Let's be very clear about that, Ravana. So like there's so much Twitter brain out there that it makes, I think, regular people really, they do instinctively back off from these sorts of things.
Yeah, it's such a double-edged sword, because if you just say, like you said, I think that war is bad, all of a sudden you're an imperialist. And then if you do apply some sort of nuance to it, you're also an imperialist, beating the drums of war. And if you acknowledge that there is, people who will die if there is a war, then that's also you're a State Department propagandist, and that's just
best case scenario.
So divorced from reality and ridiculous.
I know, it's incredibly frustrating. Well, at the risk of being warmongers, I'm just gonna read facts about things that have happened. Volodymyr Zelensky, the president of Ukraine, said Tuesday that he does not expect an all-out war against Ukraine, but that he will put Ukraine on a war footing if there is a broad escalation from Russia. And again, he is a politician. Take everything he says with a grain of salt. Try through the lens of whatever knowledge you or I might have about Ukrainian politics and history to understand why he might be saying what he is. You don't have to like or accept any of his narratives or Biden's or Putin's, or probably best of all, any of them. Actually, they all are liars because they're all humans, and humans are liars. Anyway, there is a 30-day state of emergency subject to approval by parliament that would impose curfews and restrict mass gatherings in certain regions, quote, if necessary to confront increased Russian aggression. This is obviously a thing that could be used appropriately or could be used in other ways. So stick a little pin in the state of emergency there. They also say that a cyber attack earlier today hit Ukrainian government websites and banks, according to the country's digital minister, which might have happened, might not have. If it did happen, it could have happened. Who knows exactly who did it? I honestly don't. I'm simply saying they said it happened. I did not get these talking points from the CIA or the NRO or the NSA or anything else.
Well, that's only because you missed this morning's meeting, John. If you had been there at the State Department meeting with our CIA handlers.
Exactly. The whole thing is just so incredibly frustrating. Anyway, take a look at this map. It's a fun visual, everybody. Here is Ukraine. I'm just showing you a map. I am not showing you countries I want invaded or not. I'm just showing you a map. That's the region where this ongoing situation is happening. Don't at me. Anyway. Okay, so that's, and really just very briefly, I'm curious, Rayyvana, your opinion. I obviously was wrong about this. I thought that there would be a lot of posturing on the Russian side that might help him domestically. I thought that there would be a ton of posturing from the Biden side that would be used to buy a whole bunch of weapons. And I thought that was pretty much about as far as it would go. That clearly is not where this is ending. Based on what you're seeing right now, where do you think this thing is developing in the short term?
I mean, I was in the same boat as you, so I don't necessarily trust my guesses what's going to happen next either. But I definitely thought that it was just going to be posturing for a bit, and then backing off, because I didn't see it necessarily being in anyone's best interest to sort of advance, because they don't really care about the human cost. These are countries who are looking out for their own geopolitical best interests as far as like move, but style but
okay, hold for 1 minute, Ray. We seem to be having a little bit of internet trouble. What you need to understand is that both myself and Rayyvana, we have a special intermediary filter between us that allows the CIA to approve of in real time the things that we're saying, and it sometimes increases the latency. No, so we're having some sort of connection problems with Rayyvana. We're gonna try to call back. Ray, you there?
I'm here. I'm so sorry.
Oh, no worries. That sounds much better. So anyway, you were saying.
Oh, I was just saying that, yeah, I don't necessarily think that there's going to be any sort of like American boots on the ground style intervention, but this this lethal aid that they're calling it will probably continue, and sanctions will, if Russia becomes more aggressive, US sanctions will probably become more aggressive, which is something I would be concerned about as they start to, be less targeted and less specific towards the elites and the military, and start to trickle down and affecting the actual, Russian civilians who this is not their fault. They don't deserve to be punished for the actions of their government.
Yeah, who overwhelmingly I'm sure they do not support. Again, I'm just saying my opinion, back off. These aren't talking points with the CIA. Jeez, I know it's awesome. Invasions are the best anti-imperialist thing, is when one country invades another. It's awesome in anti-war.
Check out the Damage Report podcast each day, wherever you get your podcasts, whether Pocket Casts or Stitcher or iTunes. You can join me as I give you the news and stories you want, with a range of co-hosts and interview guests jumping in on the fun each day. Again, that's the Damage Report, wherever you get your podcasts. And if you get them at iTunes, don't forget to rate and review. Sometimes I'll read them live on the show.